You are listening to episode 3 of Quarantakes. On this episode, we're going to be talking about how to digest information related to COVID-19. And joining us is the multi-talented social media wizard and founder.
Talking about maybe bringing this up today about the fear piece. Like you nailed the ego piece, and like it's ego and like fear. Like people are terrified, and like me, I'm afraid. People are generally afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but when people are fearful, they start doing interesting things. And so, like, I think like we're seeing that happen. We're seeing this woman like be in an anti-lockdown campaign as people are like dying, like I don't.
It's so bad because a lot of people are using this pandemic as an opportunity to gain clout. Like even like
Facts.
like
Facts.
even like
Facts.
did you see that one girl that licked the freaking toilet? Like that was
Started.
you know, like it's like it's stuff like that like it's like this is where first world country like people have come succumbed to, you know what I mean? And there was the senator of like I think Missouri or Oklahoma that I was talking to you guys about, right? He's a quote unquote physician. He's a family physician first and foremost, okay? So he's not an ER physician, right? There are little cases in the area that he's at, right? He's completely saying on the news that like this is all falsified. Like this is like he's downplaying the whole virus situation.
Wait, but was it like Fox News or was it CNN?
It wasn't even any of those. It was a local.
Okay.
It was a local news
wow.
channel.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't even CNN or Fox, but these guys are getting this clout, and like it's so annoying that they're not like no one's questioning this. They're not questioning it because he's a physician or he's in the healthcare field. So yes, this is definitely something that's legit. The world doesn't want anyone to know about this. Stay woke, people. You know, like it really questions the amount of intelligence that like some people have, which is surprising.
But and like to like continue with that, if you think about before COVID, a lot of people just listen to whatever comes out of these TV stations anyway. Nobody fact check anything.
Yeah.
And that's a huge issue in society at the moment over here, is that like everybody's just consuming all of this information and they're believing it. Everything, every single word. And like people don't even read articles, they just read headlines and they're like, I'm gonna run with it.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
That's true. That is true.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the funny
you read the article and like the headline blows things way out of proportion.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I think the way that we've like shared and digested media, news, and information for the past maybe 5 years to a decade have trained us to be pretty foolish during this time.
Oh, definitely. And especially
And it's
especially staying at home in isolation, it catalyzes that entire process.
It shows. Look, oh my God, Liban, yes. It catalyzes a lot of things. Look, I've done some pretty well because I'm at home. I can't even lie.
And we've all booked it too. It's like,
we've all anyway, say you're close to me, I've shared some things to you that you like, oh, that's a little concerning. So I can imagine like what people are up to, you know what I mean, in isolation, and how they're feeling and how they're digesting this very scary time, if we're honest. Like, it isn't like it's scary, right? And so on one hand, I'm like, you know what, I feel you, because like we are locked in our houses. It's never happened. We haven't had a pandemic like this in a century.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's kind of like, I get it. I was walking with a friend of mine, and his grandmother lives with him, and he was saying that his grandmother is like 80 something, like older. And she said, look, I've seen World War I, II. I've been to Vietnam. I have not seen this before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I was talking to some people at work. Like, I work at the TTC, right? So like I'm asking all these senior subway operators, like, have you experienced this state of panic before? And they're like, because I was mostly referring to like back when SARS was a thing in the city, right? They were working during that time, and they're saying like things now are completely different than how it was back then.
Wow.
Yeah, especially how resources are being treated and how circumstances have changed. Like you because of the fact that we're essential service now, like we have to go to work. We can't just stay home anymore. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's a very crazy time.
Yeah.
How are you digesting this, Liban? Like you're going to work on the TTC every like throughout the week. Like how are you feeling about everything?
Well, for the most part, like ridership in the subway is like down to a significant amount.
Mhm.
So like I don't really see people that often when I'm on the trains or when I'm working. So like the only people that I really see are my coworkers, and we're all really taking this whole social distancing thing pretty seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So like we kind of talk to each other from a distance. Most of us have like family members and people at home that make like homemade masks. So like they've been distributing that amongst ourselves because the TTC isn't really supplying the driver, like all drivers, with masks. So like, you know, we're kind of doing the best that we can with what we have.
Wow, that's crazy.
The only thing that's guaranteed is we have cleaning supplies now to clean our workstations every time we take over a vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. But as far as myself, like I basically show up at work on my time. I go take my train. I talk to nobody. I see nobody.
Right.
You know, that's pretty much it.
I've seen the yellow tape now on all the buses. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And like
that's
rear end, like entrance now, like nobody's allowed to enter from the front of a bus. It's like you have to enter from the back of it.
Well, you know, it kind of reflects upon
Makes
our
sense.
government at the end of the day, right? Because like our government isn't really being proactive to the situation, and they're planning things as they go along. So like circumstances change literally every day with the commission. So like those buses being cordoned off, a few drivers that started doing that, and then it ended up being like a thing that we are allowed to do now. So yeah, it's changing.
You know what I'm sometimes thinking about? I'm like, if we knew this was like Hernani, you've been saying this. If we knew, you pretty much said it. I think it's just kind of like resonating right now. Like I think like I'm like digesting it, right? Like if we knew this was popping back in November, okay?
Snap. It would have been quick.
No one, y'all can't have a 1-2 meeting. Y'all can't look when you're gonna release an album in November. We're ready for it in following year. We have a pandemic. Y'all can't meet. Y'all can't make a task force. Nothing.
But there should have been one from before, anyways. Like what?
Yeah.
Obama had a whole pandemic team.
Yeah.
Obama had
Right?
but the Trump administration just threw that out.
Yeah. Right before this happened.
It was ridiculous, and it was based on the Ebola virus, which was a bad virus, not as contagious, but it happened, right? And the funny thing is, even with SARS too, you know, the federal reserves, we had reserves for these N95 masks and all these protective equipment, but we let them rot. The government doesn't want to put any money into healthcare anymore because of the fact that it's too cost effective. They've gotten so used to being reactive rather than proactive, so that when this thing happens, they're like, oops, you know?
I don't know. It's you said it. It's crazy how reactive we've been to this thing. It's thing that like even like nursing homes and hospitals are like figuring out how to deal with pandemics. You are in the health industry. This should be something you've done from time. I don't understand how this is new for you. Yo, Ken, what's up? Yo, Ken, what's poppin'? What are you doing?
What's up, Ken?
How's your day going?
Chicken wing.
I don't think we can hear you. Can't hear you.
Oh, but we can see everything.
Oh, we can see everything.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? We hear you now.
We can just see what you're eating. Chicken.
What are you eating? Talk about it. What's popping? What are you saying? How you doing?
I made some chicken wings and shrimp.
Ew.
What kind of sauce? What kind of sauce you do?
Hot wings.
Hot wings? Oh damn!
You hit my soul.
like that touch. Oh.
Can you put it in a tub and then just like bring it to my door or something?
Being proactive and things like that. I don't know. And instead of reactive, we'll pause that. Like I got kind of cheese. Lesley, what do you say? How's how's like your project's been with empathy and like the kits? I want to hear about your kits. If I buy your kit, what do I get in the kit?
You get a candle that burns for almost 60 hours that you can use as a body moisturizer because everything is all natural.
Wait,
Wow.
the candle.
Wait, I can use a candle as a body moisturizer, like
What?
drip drip.
Now I would show you, but I don't.
The candle. Time out. You mean wait? I can burn the candle.
Click.
Put the wax on my face as a body moisturizer?
No, I did not say face moisturizer. I said
body.
Oh, not
So like you could use the wax and then put it on your hand and then just rub it and it's perfect.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
what I like suggest people to do when they're like lighting, because the candles are all about like having moments of peace and healing and like introspection and stuff like that. So when you light your candle, it's during like a self-care session. So once there's a pool of wax, you just dip your finger in it, slap it on your hand, rub it around.
Jeez.
That sounded like an art attack moment. I can't lie. Like, I'm sorry, but that it felt like you said, put your hand in the wax, rub it in, PVA glue, pass it, and it looks like this. Like I was like, whoa.
And it looks like this.
Yes,
PVA
glue.
You already
that
sold me
brings
on
me
it.
back,
You
man.
sold me. I was like, the most
Ours is a good show.
perfect.
That still
Yeah.
brings me back.
Multi-purpose candle, yo. That's dope.
That's
And like
it.
you can use the jar at the end. So you can do the little meditation moments with the finger in the wax, or you can wait till you get to the bottom of the candle and you can't light it anymore and just melt it with a blow dryer or just put it in a pot of hot water and then it'll melt and then you could just pour it out and lather.
That's so legit.
I might look. Cause look, here's what it is. I think we got to figure out ways to cope, right? Because as we're saying, there's a lot of things that are happening that get us upset. Like I've been visibly upset on this podcast right before Ken came on. So I feel like there are like a lot of things happening, right? And so what are like how are we coping? Like, or what are ways that we can cope? Like, what people suggest, or what are you doing to kind of digest information and cope with it?
From day one, I've been telling people to rest.
To rest?
From day one, yeah. That's been my like mission to just get people to stop consuming so much content and just rest and like connect back with themselves. Because social media is the devil. So
It's entertaining though.
it's so entertaining, right? But it's like how much consume? Are you going to stay on your phone for 12 hours a day, or are you going to do something more?
It can either empower us or destroy us.
Exactly.
Well, it's a tool at the end of the day, right? So it's depending on how you use the tool to dictate exactly how you want to, absorb some content. And some people absorb some dark stuff, man.
Yeah.
I think you got to know yourself too. I think we were talking about this last week a little bit.
Oh, yep.
So like how social media affects you personally, and then go from there. Because I think social media, could be very damaging, but it can also be a great way to connect with people. So it's like I'm using social media to connect with people quite a bit during this pandemic.
House party.
And like if I didn't have those apps, I think I would go mad. You know what I mean? I think so. But I do agree. Social media is a dark place and can really end up with a lot of like ridiculous things.
Especially when it's just fake news popping up on your feed every 2 seconds.
I think that's the problem too, is that like you're right when people don't fact check, but if they do fact check, it's more of like sometimes they go into this like rabbit hole of like